Hey everybody, my name is Ben Lima. Today I'm going to inform you guys a little bit about the fraudulent and flawed practices of Exxon Mobil, the big oil company. Um, Currently, Exxon Mobil is the biggest oil company in the U.S. By market value by about $100 billion. So they obviously have the biggest market and produce the most. So I want to get started in giving you a 1979 Exxon Mobil report. In an NPR article, it said, models predict that the present trend of fossil fuel use will lead to dramatic climatic changes within the next 75 years, should it be deemed necessary to maintain atmospheric CO2 levels to prevent significant climatic changes. Dramatic changes in patterns of energy use would be required. That was from 1979. We'll flash forward present day. In a 2015 Inside Climate News article, what was published was essentially that ExxonMobil, for the last however many years, since like 1980, has been funding anti-global warming climate deniers. And so they published this, and yet ExxonMobil still claimed that global warming had little risk to do to their investors and their investments, and that climate change is essentially has a very little threat of that. And yet we've seen other companies, big companies like Shell and BP, who have been in accordance with the Paris Agreement. And the Paris Agreement was signed all the way back in 2016, signed by 195 different countries, including the U.S., including China, two of the biggest CO2 emitters countries-wise. So it was a big deal, and essentially the goal is to keep the Earth's atmosphere temperature at 2 degrees Celsius. And they're saying it is attainable, and many of the oil companies and big CO2 emitters, fossil fuel emitter companies, even coal companies, have actively came out and said, yes, it does. And that's why they're at least being more transparent and starting to actively use more clean energy. However, ExxonMobil has failed to do that and is still in denial about it all. And it was as recent as last month that ExxonMobil blocked its meeting. They blocked their meeting with their shareholders to talk about the greenhouse emission to go with the Paris Agreement. So they're even lying to their investors about this, and they've suppressed information since 1979 and have just been as greedy as possible. And it comes to a point where is greed hurting everyone else? And yes, in this case it is. It's hurting us. It's hurting our future. It's hurting our children's future. Some of the things we can do, though, is just constant action, just always shedding light on it. Share posts, sign petitions. We gotta try and encourage these consumers and other people, your friends, not to do business with them, not to do transactions with ExxonMobil. It's like a monopolized company, and they know what they're doing, and they know they're causing harm in the world. And if we don't do anything about it or have constant actions, shed constant light on it, it's going to continue to get worse in this generation, and especially for the next. And we're going to have to watch over our kids and hopefully their kids, knowing that we could have done something about it. And it could be a potentially planet-saving action if we take action against ExxonMobil. Thank you.